Okay, a few people have asked me to make a tips to League of Legends, and I was kind of hesitant to make a video about this because to me, this game is just really relatively easy. Um, if you're new or green to League of Legends, make sure you read all your spells before you pick a champion. You kind of want to know what their abilities are before you get into the game. You don't want to be surrounded by a mob of minions and not know what your spells or abilities are. And also, you want to pick a champion that is suitable to your playing style, whether that be a tank, healer, or a support class. It's really easy. I mean, when you start the game, they provide you with 475 gold, and you can pick items that will enhance your abilities. And it's really kind of like they've got like dummy controls, where it's got a list of items that you can buy that will really enhance your champion's abilities. And I would suggest doing that because that is the best way and quickest way to power up your champion is by buying the upgrades that they suggest. And time is of the essence. I mean, when you're trying to take down the enemy's base, you're going to want to do it as quickly as possible. I mean, if a game is kind of going on and it's kind of stalemate, you can upgrade to other items that are found in the item shop that aren't suggested items. But very rarely are you going to have a match that lasts that long. I haven't had too many matches that have lasted that long. But yeah, and one thing I will say is if you get a teammate who disconnects or quits on you, like say you're doing 3 versus 3, you pretty much might as well chalk that game up to a loss. You're pretty much screwed at that point. If it's a 5 versus 5 and one guy DCs or disconnects, you have a chance of winning it still. Very rarely have I had a time when a 3 versus 3 and we had a disconnect or a lever and we actually won. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but your chances are really low at that point, and you better hope that your enemies are noobs, because yeah. But like to say that if you want to do this and you want to have a good team, it's helpful to pick people that you know have already played the game. If you've got a team that's people that are competent, you can that might be better for you. Sometimes that'll work out, sometimes it doesn't. I have a lot of people that try to add me in game to play with because they see that I win a lot of matches, and if you're going to just add somebody just because you think they're going to help you win, that's not exactly good, because I'll automatically block those people if they're really bad. I mean, I'll admit that. I usually don't try to do stuff like that. I'm usually pretty fair, but if somebody's really, really bad and they added me just because they want me to carry them through the game, I will block them.
Victory!
Back some more game mechanics of the game, because I feel that you need to know the mechanics of a game before you can succeed at it. And League of Legends is not the type of game that you can just jump into and succeed at. You kind of have to know how everything works before you can do good at it. There is a tab in your profile page that has lists of masteries, and the list of masteries is the same as World of Warcraft, where it's a talent tree. And I don't agree with the whole cookie cutter talent tree type of things. If they work for you, then fine and dandy. I haven't done any research.
I haven't seen any talent trees for this game online. But what I like to do is I like to try to pick whatever your weaknesses are, whatever you think you need to strengthen your champion, pick talent points in those areas. Also, there's a rune tab in this profile page, and you also want to do the same thing with your runes. And make sure that they're specific for the level that you're at, because some of them are level restricted. I'm not gonna link my talents for League of Legends and say, oh, you have to use these talents if you want to succeed at League of Legends. No, throw that shit out the window. That's not cool. Like I said, use whatever talents you think are gonna strengthen your champion's abilities and your play style. Okay, now we're gonna talk about some strategies when it comes to League of Legends. I've already talked about DCing and lagging out quitters and all that. Also, there's this thing called feeding. What feeding is, if you've never heard it before, it's when you have a team member or yourself does this, where you keep going and you're dying repeatedly over and over again. You're going to see in your upper right corner, it's going to show two sets of numbers. The red numbers are your deaths for your team, and the green numbers are the deaths that your team has caused. Now, you want to have your numbers of their deaths to be higher than your team's deaths, because it's not good. If your team has a lot of deaths, you're basically going to lose. I mean, you can turn it over if it's really close in numbers, but if you guys are more in the red than in the green, you're fucked. Your game is done. So you don't want to feed, and that's what feeding is when you repeatedly die, because every time you die, the other side gets more experience. They get more experience from champion kills than they do from minion kills. So you do not want to feed. It's just bad. And you'll see a lot of green new players that do this. And I'll admit, when I first started playing League of Legends, I did the same thing. You know, I just didn't know. If you get somebody who's, you can just tell by their playstyle that they're a noob, you can drag these people when they're really low in health, drag them back down to your tower or to your minions, and let them, get killed by the tower, and this will give you more experience. Also, if you're getting low in health, try to get out of there or get behind some minions. Always use the minions to your advantage. That's what they're there for. And the more towers you can take out, the more kills you get, the more your minions are going to make it to their base and start helping you. Teamwork is essential. You have to have good teamwork. If your team is not going to help you win, you can try it. What I do is if I get a bad team and they do not help me, because you'll get those players that just think they're going to solo this, they're going to solo the whole match, and they're going to take down the enemies all by themselves. You get these cocky players that think they're going to win by themselves. But if you do not get any help from your teammates, what I try to do is set up a diversion and go, and I'll look at a map and I'll say, hey, there's no enemies up on this top side or bottom side, and I'll go there and I'll make sure the minions get through and try to take down towers, so that way the rest of the guys can push through the bottom, top, or other areas. I mean you gotta have alternate strategies and I always try to be unpredictable. I mean, if you're predictable and you keep pushing middle, or you keep going top or bottom, if you keep repeating the same attacks on their base, it's not good, because they're going to know, they're going to expect your attack, and they're going to be ready for you. So I always try to change it up, and I'll tell my teammates, and I'll type in chat, go bottom, go top, or whatever, and always try to change up. I mean, don't shift back and forth where it's becoming an obvious pattern, but try to shift it up a little bit so that you're unpredictable, and that they're not going to expect you to attack at that time and in that place. That'll really work to your advantage and get you guys a win. Okay, so I gave you guys a couple of tips, talked about some basic game mechanics if you didn't already know them. I hope that helps you out a little bit. And one thing I gotta say, when it comes to games, it's not all about winning, because I remember back in the day when we were playing arcade games, and we had like simple basic game consoles. It was all about having fun. If you're not having fun, then what's the point of playing the game? So I hope these guys, these tips helped you out. If you liked the video, if you liked what I had to say, you thought it was cool, like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Share the love. More subscribers I get, the better it is. I know that I'm making an impact on other people's lives with these videos. So it's pretty cool. The other day I saw that some kid had watched one of my videos, and he made a video. It was almost word for word of my video. But I thought it was kind of cool. So I am making some kind of impact here on YouTube.